He's okay. You're like him. What are you doing home so early?
Is Pop home yet?
No. Did you ask about the tickets?
What tickets?
For the Yankees game. You said your boss knew this guy who could get passes. You didn't ask him?
Me and my boss had other things to talk about. I'm in trouble, Huge. I mean, real big trouble.
This really shocked me. Because Stan is the kind of guy who can talk himself out of any kind of trouble. What kind of trouble?
I got fired today.
Fired? You mean for good?
Well, you don't get fired rarely. It's permanent. It's a lifetime firing.
What happened?
Well, the color guy who sweeps up. Well, he was in the stockroom sweeping up, and he lay up against the table. The broom slips. It knocks a can of linseed oil all over the table. Ruins 3 brand new hats right out of the box. $9 Stetsons. It wasn't his fault. He didn't put the linseed oil there, right?
Right.
So Mr. Strine, he sees you in the hats and he goes crazy. He tells Andrew the hats are gonna have to come out of his salary. $27. So Andrew starts to cry.
He cried?
42 years old and he's bawling in the locker room. I mean, the man has got too much furniture upstairs anyway. But he's real sweet. He always brings me coffee, laughing and telling me jokes. I never understand them, but I laugh at them anyway. You know, it makes him feel good.
Yeah.
And so I says to Mr. Strine, I didn't think that was fair. It wasn't his fault.
You said that to him?
Sure, why not? So Mr. Strine says, you want to pay for the hats, Big Mouth? I say, no, I don't want to pay for the hats. Then he says, that's your own business, Big Mouth.
Holy mackerel!
So Mr. Strine looks at me like machine gun bullets are coming out of his eyes. And then he calmly sends Andrew over to the factory to get 3 new hats. It's usually my job. So guess what he tells me to do?
What?
Sweep up. He says, wait, I'm the cleaning man.
I believe it.
Everybody's watching me now. What I'm going to do. Even Andrew's starting to watch. I felt that the dignity of everyone in that place was in my hands. So I grit my teeth, I pick up the broom, and there's this big pile of dirt right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah?
And I sweep it all over Strine shoes. Andrew just finished shining them this morning, if you want to talk about irony.
I'm dying. I'm actually dying.
Everyone in the place is about to bust a gut. Miss Mulcahy, got false teeth in her mouth. Andrew's eyes are hanging 5 inches out of their sockets.
This is the greatest story in the history of the world.
So Mr. Strine grabs me and he pulls me into his back office, closes the door and pulls down the shades. He gives me this whole story on how he was brought up in Germany to his superiors. And if he ever did such a thing like you do, they would beat me on the cup until they carried me a bed.
That's far you down.
And I say, well, we're not in Germany, old buddy.
You said that to him?
No, I didn't want to go too far.
Well, I was wondering.
And so Mr. Strine says he's always liked me and he thought I was a good kid. He's going to give me one more chance. He wants a letter of apology. And if that letter isn't on his desk by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, I can consider myself fired.
I would have had a heart. What'd you say?
I wasn't going to write the letter if Andrew still had to pay for the hats. He said that was between him and Andrew, and that he expected the letter from me in the morning. So I got up, walked out of his office, got my hat, and went home 10 minutes early.
Sweating. I swear to God, I'm sweating all over.
I don't know why I did it. I just got so mad. It wasn't... I mean, if you give him 1 18 and a half, you'll give him for the rest of your life, eh?
Well, I suppose so. So what's the decision? Are you going to write the letter?
No.
Positively?
Positively. Except with Pop first. But he told me you always have to think this right in this world and stand up for your principles.
Well, what if he says he thinks you're wrong, then you should write the letter?
He won't. He's going to leave it up to me. I know it.
But what if he says, write the letter?
Well, that's something we won't know till after dinner now, will we?
All in all, it was shaping up to be one heck of a day. I'll say this much, though. I always had this two-way thing about my brother Stan. Either I worshipped the ground he walked on, or I hated him so much I wanted to kill him. I guess you know how I feel about him today. All day it takes you to bring bread. I was home a half an hour ago. I was talking to Stan. Take the butter into your Aunt Blanche. She's waiting for it.
Hey, I got a letter from Rosalind Weiner. You remember her? She moved up to Manhattan. They live on Central Park West.
Why not? Her father's a gangster. Her mother's worse. I don't get a kiss hello.
No, but I was going to save it up and give you a giant one for Christmas.
We don't have Christmas. I'll get now, thank you. A hug, too. Since when do I get a hug from you? You must have done something wrong.
You're too smart for me, Mom. I robbed a barber shop today.
Is that why you look so tired? You don't get enough sleep running around all night. 200 girlfriends.
130, Mom. That's all I have. 130.
How do you ever get any work done?
I get it done.
And your boss, he doesn't say anything about you being so tired?
About being tired? No, he doesn't.
Did you ask him about Thursday?
What?
You were going to ask him about getting paid on Thursday, so I can pay Greenblatt's on Friday. Saturday is a holiday.
Oh, no, I forgot. I'll ask him tomorrow.
Never mind. If it's a problem, your boss, he's more important Greenblatt's way.
That's not true, Mom. This is no more important than Mr. Greenblatt.
Oh, God! As you've been.
Oh, you busy? I wanted to talk to you.
That's funny. I wanted to talk to you.
About what?
I need a favor real bad, and you're the only one who can help.
What is it?
Well, when Pop comes home tired, he usually doesn't pay much attention to me and you. But he's different with you. He always seems interested in what you have to say.
Really? I hope so.
Sure, you haven't noticed?
Well, not really. What's the favor?
This may sound dumb, but tonight at dinner, do you think you could steer the conversation in a certain direction?
What direction?
Something like how you admire people who stand up for the principles.
What people?
Any people. Principles is the important word. Now, if you could work it in 3 or 4 times, I'd be grateful.
3 or 4 times?
It'll be easy. I'll make someone like Abraham Lincoln, and you'll say, now there's a man who stood up for his principles.
I have my own things to bring up at dinner. I don't want to get into a discussion about Abraham Lincoln.
Not his whole life, just his principles.
Why would I do such a stupid thing?
Because as of tomorrow, I'm unemployed unless someone besides me mentions sticking up for your own principles.
Oh, did you get fired? What happened?
I will be unless I write Kaiser Wilhelm a letter of apology. It's really up to my old man. I decided to do whatever he tells me.
Well, when are you going to ask him?
Tonight after dinner.
Oh, tonight? Does it have to be tonight?
That's the deadline. I have to give my answer to Mr. Stroheim in the
Well,
morning.
why couldn't you ask your father in the morning?
He gets up at 5:30. Mom has to line up his shoes at night because he can't make decisions at 5:30. What's wrong, Nora?
I don't know what you have to complain about. At least your father's alive and around the house to make decisions. Sometimes you don't know when you're well off, Stanley. Sometimes you make me sick.
And the other eye on Pop. Except me. I sat opposite Nora. I kept dropping my napkin a lot so I could bend over and get a good look at those virginal, creamy white legs. She was really deep in thought, too. Well, she left herself unguarded a couple of times. And I got to see halfway up her thighs. That led to the golden palace of the Himalayas. Keep your napkin on your lap and stop daydreaming and take that hat off at the table. Stanley knew what I was doing, because he's the one that taught it to me. But he was busy with problems of his own, like everybody else. It was so quiet you could hear the clock ticking in the kitchen. The tension in the air was so thick you could cut it with a knife, which is more than I can say for the liver.
Ketchup. Mustard. Pickles.
Well, I'm through. I'll help with dessert. You sit down there and finish your liver. I'm finished. You see any liver on that plate? Hit it under the mashed potatoes. I know your tricks. Look how nice Lori ate hers. I had a major problem. One more bite thrown up on the table. A sight Nora would have remembered forever. A diversion was my only escape from humiliation. So, Stanley, how are things down at Stroheim's? I felt bad about that. But for the moment, the attention had shifted away from my liver.
So how long have you been working there now?
Where?
Stroheim's.
Stroheim? Let me see. Part-time, 1.5 years before I graduated. 10 years since then.
So what's that?
2.5 years, counting time.
And he likes you?
Oh.
Mr. Stroheim.
Yeah, usually he likes me. Sometimes I'm not sure.
You come in on time.
Yeah.
You do your work?
Yeah.
You get along with the other people?
Yeah.
So why shouldn't he like you? How much you making now?
$17 a week.
It's time you moved up. Tomorrow morning you go in, you ask for a raise.
A raise?
You don't speak up, take advantage of you. Tomorrow morning you go into his office, you're respectful, you're polite, firm. You tell him you're worth another $5 a week.
$5?
He'll offer you $1.25, you settle for $2.50. I know how these things work. Look, you're a high school graduate. Lucky he's got you.
I don't think this is the time to be asking Mr. Stroheim for a raise. I think his wife is very sick.
Are you afraid to ask him? He'll take you by the hand and walk you into his office and say, my little boy wants a raise.
I'm not afraid.
Believe me, this is the time. Your father wouldn't ask you if he didn't think it was the right thing to do, Stanley.
Mom, I think I've got a bone in my throat.
There are no bones in liver.
So what's new dancing for us? Nothing is new. Mind your own business. I was just trying to I need your help. Mom, will you tell her to be quiet, please?
If you're finished, Laura, you may be excused.
So what happened to dancing school?
Well, Nora got a very nice comment from her teacher. She said that Nora had professional potential.
Oh, he didn't say potential. Potential is the future. Mr. Beckman's interested in Nora's immediate present.
Isn't that something, this Mr. Beckman? He's your teacher?
Well, no. He's one of the most widely known and respected producers on Broadway.
Broadway, imagine that. That's wonderful. And how you doing in school otherwise?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
She's doing very well.
I wish I was as smart as she is.
Isn't that the same Mr. Beckman who's producing that big Broadway extravaganza, Abracadabra? I hear that if a girl gets hired onto a course of a show like that, not only is her career practically guaranteed, but the experience she gains is equal to a 4-year college education.
That's enough, Eugene.
Only a 4-year college education is equal to a 4-year college education.
I don't think Abraham Lincoln went to college.
How about you, Lori? You feeling all right?
Yes, Uncle Jack.
You're getting plenty of fresh air.
Oh, as much as I can hold in my lungs. Nora, did you tell Uncle Jack about the big tank that's filled with water?
Girls, let's let Uncle Jack eat his dinner. If we have something to discuss, we'll discuss it later.
Somebody has something to discuss? Look, if there's a problem, now's the time to bring it up. This is the family hour.
What a great idea for a radio show. The Family Hour. Every Wednesday night, you hear a different family eating dinner and discussing their problems of the week. And you get to hear different recipes. WEAF presents Dinner at Brighton Beach, starring the Jacob Jerome family, and featuring this week's specialty, liver and cabbage. Brought to you by X-Lax, the mild lax.
The whole world gets to hear about a 15-year-old boy gagging on his liver.
Oh.
Look, nothing to discuss, no problems. Otherwise, I want to turn on the news.
Well, as a matter of fact,
What?
nothing.
Well, I'm through. I'll help with dessert. Sit down and finish your liver. I can't swallow it. It won't go down. Remember the lima bean catastrophe of last month? Does anybody want to see a repeat of that disgusting episode?
Why does he always talk like it's a Sherlock Holmes story?
He thinks he's a writer.
And what do you think you are? Eat half of it. Which half? They're both terrible. 1/4. 2 bites. 1 bite. 2 bites. I know you. If I eat 1 bite, you'll make me eat another bite. Get to my room and eat it tonight. I need time to chew.
Ah! These are times to waste food. You didn't want it, Eugene. You shouldn't have taken it.
I didn't eat it. They gave it to me. It comes attached to the plate.
Well, if it's important to everybody, I'll eat your liver, Eugene.
You will?
It seems to be the thing that this family is interested in. Give me your liver and one more important things in our lives.
Nora's right. Take the liver away. If he likes it, why?
Because we can't roast beef to feed 7 people. I suddenly felt vulgar and cheap.
Turn on the news.
Lori, stay off your feet. You look tired, Timmy.
Pop, can I talk to you? Something really important.
More important than what's going on in Europe?
Not more important. It's just coming up soon.
Hitler's already moved into Austria. In a couple of months, the whole world's going to be in it. What's wrong with this radio?
Somebody's been fooling around with that, Eugene. Why, Eugene? Pop has the news on. You weren't listening to the ball game this afternoon?
He's talking about Poland. Damn it, I don't want anybody touching this radio anymore, you understand?
Guess who's going to give blame for the war in Europe? Eugene, come over here and help me with the forks and the knives and the napkins and the glasses.
You really think there's going to be a war? I mean, America, too?
We're already in it. But not us, maybe. Friends, relatives. If you're Jewish, you got a cousin suffering somewhere in the world.
Ida Kaczynski's family got out of Poland just last month. The stories that she has to tell about what's going on over there, you don't even want to hear.
How many relatives do we have in Europe?
Enough? Aunts? Uncles? I have a great aunt. Your father, he has nephews.
Yeah, I got a cousin, Sholem, in Poland. His whole family.
Well, what if they got to America? Where would we put them?
Who?
Your nephews, moms, uncles, and cousins. Would we take them?
Listen, what God gives you to deal with, you deal with.
Where would they stay?
Why are you worrying about things like that now? You should be upstairs working on your speech.
What speech?
The speech you're going to give Mr. Stroheim tomorrow about the raise.
Can I talk to you later after you rested and read your paper, Pop?
Lou Gehrig got 2 hits today. Larrap and Lou's hitting 302. How many times have I told you you don't touch your father's paper until he's finished reading it? I didn't break it. The print doesn't come off if I take a quick look at it.
Don't be fresh to your mother. Upstairs.
Pop.
Everybody.
I'll come down later, okay, Pop?
Come on, Stan, I have to talk to you anyway.
You know you're a pest. Did anyone ever tell you that?
Yeah, I got a list in my room. You want to add your name to it?
Will you stop that? I'm trying to think.
Boy, glad I don't have your problems.
How would you like an official American League baseball in your mouth?
Stanley, I have to talk to you. I mean a really serious, important talk.
Everybody in this family has to have a talk with someone. Take a number off the wall and wait your turn.
I had this dream last night. It was about this girl. I can't tell you her name, but she was gorgeous. And we were really kissing hard and rubbing up against each other. And I felt this tremendous buildup, like at the end of 39 steps. And suddenly there was an explosion. It was like a broke and everything rushed and flowed out to sea. It was the greatest feeling I ever had in my life. And when I woke up, I was...
All wet.
How'd you know?
It was a wet dream. You had a wet dream. I have them all the time.
You do? You mean there's nothing wrong with you if it happens?
You never had one before?
Oh, yeah. But I slept through it.
Didn't you ever do it by yourself?
What do you mean?
Didn't you ever diddle with yourself?
No, never.
Baloney, I've heard you. You diddle 3-4 times a week.
You're crazy. What do you mean, diddle?
Whack off. Masturbate.
Would you be quiet? Boy, might hear you.
There's nothing wrong with it. Everybody does it, especially at our age. It's natural.
What do you mean, everybody? You know guys who do it?
Every guy I know does it, except Haskell Fleischman, that fat kid. He does it to the other guys.
I can't believe I'm having this conversation.
You can't grow up without doing it. Your voice won't change.
Where do you get all this stuff from? Is it in a medical book or something?
It's puberty.
It's what?
Puberty. You never heard that word before? You don't read books?
Yeah, The Citadel by A.J. Cronin. He never mentioned puberty.
Even Pop did it.
Pop? Our... You know what, Stan? I think you're full of shit.
Hey, don't use that word. Who do you think you are? You're nothing but a kid. Never let me hear you say that again.
I don't get you. You mean it's all right for you to say puberty, but I can't say shit?
Puberty is a scientific word. Shit is for those guys who hang around the beach.
Well, what do you expect me to say when you tell me Pop whacks off?
I don't mean he does it now because he's married, but when he was a kid, 14 or 15, the whole world whacks off.
Even President Roosevelt?
Rich kids are the worst. They whack off from morning to night. In college, they sit around the dorm rooms drinking beer and whacking off.
Stanley, this is the most useful information you ever taught me. What about girls?
5 times as much as boys.
5 times as much? Is that an actual figure? Where do you get all this stuff from?
You pick it up, you learn it. It's handed down from generation to generation. That's how our culture spreads.
5 times as much as boys. Some of them won't even talk to you, and they're home all night whacking off.
They're human like we are. They have the same needs and desires.
Then why is it so hard to touch their boobs?
If you were a girl, would you want some guy jumping at you and grabbing your boobs?
If I had boobs, I'd love to touch them. Wouldn't you?
I have my own problems to think about.
How do girls do it?
I can't explain it.
Please, Stanley, I'll be your slave for a month. Tell me how they do it.
I need paper and pencil. I'll do it later.
Here, you want crayons? Maybe you should do it in color.
Listen, Eugene. I have a major problem in my life, and I haven't got time to draw girls masturbating for you.
Well, I bet Nora doesn't do it.
Boy, could I win money from you? You think she's in the bathroom 7 times a day just taking showers?
She does it in the bathroom?
I knew 2 girls who used to do it during English class. I even saw a girl doing it during a final exam. She got a 98 on her paper. Is that who you were thinking about last night?
No, it was somebody else. One of the big girls.
It was Nora. I see what's going on. I knew why you dropped your napkin 12 times at dinner.
She drives me crazy, Stanley. I'm in love with her.
Yeah, well, forget it. She's your cousin.
Well, what's wrong with being in love with your cousin?
It's against the laws of nature. If she was your stepsister, it would be dirty, but it would be okay. But you can't love your own cousin. I'll give you a piece of advice. When you're going through puberty, don't start with anyone in your own house.
Well, who made up those President Roosevelt, his cousin?
Yeah, well, maybe he married his second or third cousin. But you can't marry your first cousin. You get babies with 9 heads. I wish Pop would get home. I gotta talk to him tonight.
I still would love to see her naked. Just once. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, I do it all the time.
You've seen Nora naked?
Sure, I fix the lock on the bathroom door, and then I open it pretending I didn't know anyone was in there.
I can't believe it. What a pig! What did she look like?
All I can tell you is I was pretty miserable. She was my first cousin.
That was the night I discovered lust and guilt are very closely related. I have to go wash up.
Have a good time.
I don't do that.
Could I talk to you? It'll just take 5 minutes.
Not right now, Stanley. He's practically asleep.
2 minutes. I'll tell it real fast.
Go on, Kate, go to bed. The boy wants to tell me something.
All right. Turn off the lights when you're finished. Don't be long. Don't worry. We've always made things work out before. We can do it again.
She saw me on the crapper. Nora saw me on the crapper. I might as well be dead.
Pop, I have a problem.
If you didn't, you wouldn't be in this house.
It must be tough being a father. Everybody coming to you with your problems. You have to have all the answers. I know I couldn't handle it.
Will you stop trying to win me over and just tell me the problem?
I got fired today.
What?
Don't get crazy. Don't get excited. Let me explain what happened.
What did you do? You came in late? You were fresh to something? Were you fresh to somebody?
I'm not fired yet. I can still get my job back. I just need you to help me make a decision.
You take the job back. I don't care what it is. This is not the time for anybody to be out of work in this family.
You remember when I was 12? You gave me a talk about principles.
All night long you waited to give me this news.
This is about principles, Pop.
How long were you going to go without telling me?
Will you at least hear my principles?
All right. I'll hear your principles, and then you'll hear mine.
Okay, now just sit back and listen. Well, it was on account of Andrew, the color guy who sweeps up.
So Stanley started his sad story. Pop never said a word. He just sat there and listened. Stanley was terrific. It was like Abe Lincoln in Illinois, that movie. Stanley was not only defending his principles, but democracy and the United States of America. Pop must have been bleary-eyed, because not only did he have to deal with Stanley's principles, Nora's career, the loss of his noisemaker business, how to get Aunt Blanche married off, and Laurie's fluttering heart, but at any minute, there could have been a knock on the door with 37 relatives from Poland looking for a place to live. Finally, Stanley finished his story.
So either I bring in a letter of apology, or I don't bother coming in at all. I know it's late, and I know you're tired, but I didn't want to make a decision without talking to you first.
Stanley, Stanley, Stanley.
Sorry, Pop.
You shouldn't have swept the dirt on his shoes.
I know.
Especially in front of the other people.
I know.
Stanley, he's your boss. He pays your salary. His money helps put food on our dining table.
I know, Pop.
And we don't have the money to waste. Believe me when I tell you that.
I believe you, Pop.
You were sick 3 days last year. He only docked you a day and a half's pay. You remember that?
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. I'll write the letter. I'll do it tonight.
On the other hand, you did a very courageous thing. You defended a fellow worker. Nobody else stood up for him, did they?
I was the only one.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of. It was what you believed in. That's standing up for your principles.
That's why I didn't want to write the letter. I knew you'd understand.
Question is, can this family afford principles right now?
It would be hard, I know.
Not just on you and me, but on your mother, Aunt Blanche, Nora, Laurie.
Eugene.
Eugene would have to get a part-time job. Time he should be using studying books to get himself somewhere.
He wants to be a writer. He wants to go to college.
Wish I could have sent you. Always been that Stanley.
I like working, Pop. Listen, I've made up my mind, and I'm going to write it.
Now, I'm not saying you should.
I know, it's my decision, but I want to write the letter.
And, how are your principals going to feel in the morning?
My principals feel better already. You told me you were proud of what I did.
That's all I really cared about.
You know something, Stanley? I don't think there's much they can teach you in college you don't already know.
Guess who I learned it from? Thanks for talking to me, Pop. I'll see you in the morning. You coming to bed?
I think I'll sit here for a little while. It's the only time of day I have a few minutes to myself.
So how'd it go? You have to write the letter?
Yeah.
I knew that's what he'd make you do.
He didn't make me do it. Now, will you be quiet? I'm trying to concentrate.
What are you gonna say?
I don't know. You want to help me? You're good at those things.
They used to get paid for that in the old days. Professional letter writers.
I'm not going to pay you money.
I don't want money.
Then what do you want?
Tell me what Nora looked like naked.
How horny can you get?
I don't know. What's the highest score?
All right, when we finish the letter.
No, I don't trust you. I want to get paid first.
You know, you're a real shit.
Hey, don't talk like that around me. I'm just a kid, remember?
What do you want to know?
Everything. From the time you open the door.
It happened so fast.
That's okay. Tell it slow.
All right. I heard the shower water running, and I waited for it to stop. And I gave a few seconds for the water to run off her body. And then I knew she'd be stepping out of the shower. Suddenly, I just opened the door, and there she was on the bath mat. A towel on her head, and nothing else in the whole wide world.
Slower. Don't go so fast.
Her breasts were gorgeous. Like 2 peaches hanging on a vine waiting to be plucked. Maybe 2 nectarines. Like 2 nectarines, all soft and pink and shining in the morning sun. I have to talk to you.
What's up?
Not here in our room. Don't tell anybody.
What's the big secret?
Wait till I get upstairs and follow me.
If it's about Nora, I'm not interested. Bob's feeling better. He threw the newspaper at me because I didn't bring him the evening edition.
Lock the door.
You look terrible. You were crying. Your eyes are all red.
I'm in trouble, Huge. I mean real trouble.
When did you take up smoking?
I smoke in the stockroom all the time. Don't let me see you do it. It's a bad habit.
So how come you do it?
I like it.
What brand do you smoke?
Lucky Strikes.
I knew you would. That's the best brand.
Swear to God what I tell you, and never tell another living soul.
I swear, on the life of the entire New York Yankees. What happened?
I lost my salary.
What?
The entire $17, it's gone. I lost it.
Where? In the subway?
In a poker game. I lost it gambling.
In a poker game?
Will you shut up? You want to kill Pop right in his bedroom?
You never told me you gambled.
I would do it at lunch. Pennies. I always won a dime, a quarter. It wasn't just luck. I was really good.
$17?
When Pop was sick, I thought I could make some extra money to help out. So I played over in this game at the stockroom in Florsheim Shoes. Boy, did I learn about poker. They cleaned me out in 20 minutes.
What are you going to tell them?
Don't know. If Pop wasn't sick, I'd tell him the truth. Last week, he tells me how proud he is of me. He's driving a cab at nights, and I'm over at Florsheim's playing poker.
Yeah, but suppose you won. Suppose you won $50. You just had bad luck, that's all.
I had no chance against those guys. They were gamblers. They all wore black pointy shoes and had clocks on their socks. If Pop dies, I'll hang myself, I swear.
Don't talk like that. Pop is not gonna die. He ate 3 lamb chops tonight. Why don't you just say you lost the money? You had a hole in your pocket. You can tear a hole in your pocket.
I already used that one.
When?
In November when I lost $5. He told me from now on, check your pockets every morning.
What happened to the $5? Did you gamble that too?
No, I gave it to a girl. You know, a pro.
A pro what? A prostitute? You went to one of those places? Holy shit!
I'm not going to warn you about that word again.
Is that what it cost? $5?
$2.50. I went with this guy I know.
And you never told me? What was she like? Was she pretty? How old was she?
Don't start in with me, Eugene.
Did she get completely naked or what?
Every time I get in trouble, I have to tell you what a naked girl looks like? Do me a favor, Eugene. Go in the bathroom, whack off, and grow up by yourself.
Don't get sore. If you were me, you'd ask the same questions.
Yeah? Well, I never had an older brother to teach me those things. I had to learn them all on my own. You don't know how lucky you are being the younger one. You don't have the same responsibilities I do. Why, you're still at school looking up girls' dresses on the staircase.
I worked plenty hard in school.
Yeah, well, let me see your report card. It's the first of the month. I know you got it. Let me see it.
I don't have to show you my report card. You're not my father.
Yes, I am. As long as Papa's sick, I am. I'm the only one working in this family, ain't I?
Oh, really? Well, where's your salary this week, Pop?
I hate you sometimes. You're nothing but a lousy shit. I do favors for you all the time, and you can never do anything for me without wanting something for it. I hate your disgusting guts.
Not as much as I hate yours. You snore at night, you pick your toenails, and you smell up the bathroom. Every time I go in there, I have to puke.
Let me see your report card, damn it! Let me see it or I'll beat your face in!
You want it? Here's my lousy report card, you bastard.
Four A's and a B. That's good. That's real good, Eugene. You're smart. I want you to go to college. I want you to be somebody someday. Because I'm not. I'm no damn good. Sorry I said those things about you.
Me too. I'm sorry too. Stanley, are you in there? Why don't you open a window? You never get enough air in here. Stanley, I need $5 for Aunt Blanche. Did you get paid today?
Yes, I got paid today.
Well then, please take out the envelope and give me the money.
I don't have it.
You don't have the envelope?
I don't have the money.
What do you mean you don't have the money?
I mean, I don't have it. It's gone.
It's gone? Gone where, Stanley?
It's just gone. I don't have it. I can't get it back. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it now. Just don't ask me any more questions.
What do you mean, don't ask you any more questions? I want to know what happened to $17, Stanley.
If I tell you, you'll tell Pop. I know you'll tell Pop.
Why shouldn't I tell your father? Why, Stanley? I want to know what happened to that money.
I gambled it. I lost it playing poker, all right? You happy? Are you satisfied now?
I'm not going to deal with this right now. I have to get Aunt Blanche out of the house first. I have your father's health to worry about. You're going to sit here in this room and you're going to think of the story. You were robbed. Someone stole the money. I don't care who, I don't care where. But that's what you're going to tell your father downstairs. Because if you tell that man the truth, you'd kill him as sure as I'm sitting here. Tonight, after your father's gone to bed, you'll meet me in the kitchen. And we'll deal with this alone.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm afraid to pour the tea. Well, Kate, what's wrong? What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just all nervous today.
Oh, you're just worried about Jack. He shouldn't have come downstairs.
He knows he's not supposed to be up. I don't know why he thinks he needs doctors. He doesn't listen to them anyway.
Oh, I shouldn't have asked Mr. Murphy over. That's the only reason he came down.
Blanche, it's not just Mr. Murphy.
It's Stanley. It's Eugene. It's everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry about Nora. Jack told me what she said before she left.
Why don't you get your purse, Blanche? You'll be here any minute.
Kate, did Nora say anything to hurt you? I know she's been very difficult these last few days.
Why is it always your Nora? Why is it always your troubles? Do you think you're the only one in this world who has problems? We all have problems, Blanche. We all get our equal share.
I'm sorry. Forgive me, Kate. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe you're stronger than I am. You survived Dave's death. I don't know if I can handle it if anything happens to Jack.
Well, nothing's going to happen to him. He'll be all right. He's a young man still. He's strong.
When David died, I cried for his loss. I was so angry at God for taking such a young man. I never realized before now what you must have gone through, Blanche. How did you get through it?
We had you. We had Jack. But mostly you keep on going for your children. Your children keep you going.
My children.
Well, I get up every morning for Nora and for Lori.
Nora hurt you so badly, and yet you can still say that.
Why? Well, don't you think that we hurt our family? Don't you remember how Mama cried when Celia left? Sure, it hurts. But when you love somebody, you forgive them.
Some things you forgive. Some things you never forgive.
Is the ice cream here yet? Oh, no, darling. Didn't you go with Eugene?
No, I was across the street in that creepy old house. It's just as creepy inside.
You were in Mr. Murphy's house just now? Why?
Well, she called me from the window, the old woman. I think it's his mother. And she said she had a letter for you, and I had to go inside to get it.
What did she say to you?
Oh, she offered me a cookie, but it was all green, so I said I wasn't hungry.
Dear Mrs. Morton, I send regrets for my son, Frank. I tried to reach you earlier, then realized you had no phone. Frank will be unable to keep his dinner engagement with you this evening. Frank was in an automobile accident, and although the injuries are not serious, consequences are. As a devoted mother, I would end this letter here and forward my apologies. Despite all my son's faults, honesty and sincerity have never been his failings. He wanted me to tell you the truth, that while driving a friend's motor car, he was intoxicated and was the cause of the aforementioned accident. The truth would come out soon enough. But Frank has too much respect and fondness for you to have you hear it from some other source. I hope you will not think I'm just a doting mother when I tell you my boy has a great many attributes. A great many. As soon as Frank can get out of his difficulties here, we have decided to move to upstate New York, where there is a clinic that can help Frank, and where we have relatives with whom we can stay. Frank sends along with his regrets, his regard for a warm, intelligent, friendly, and most delightful neighbor across the way. Yours most sincerely, Mrs. Matthew Murphy.
What is it, Blanche?
Not coming. He's in the hospital.
It was a sad letter, all right, but it sure was well written. Maybe I should have been born in Ireland.
I knew it. I tried to warn you from the very beginning.
Why is he in the hospital?
He was in a car accident.
God, that poor woman. Does this mean you're not going out to dinner?
It could have just as easily been you in that car with him tonight, Blanche. I tried to warn you about those people.
Will you stop calling them those people? They aren't those people. She's a mother like you and me.
And what is he? Tell me what he is.
He's someone in trouble. He's somebody that needs help. For God's sake, Kate, you don't even know the man.
I know the man. I know what they're all like.
Well, who are you to talk? Are we something so special? Are we any better? Oh, we're all poor around here. The least we can do is be charitable.
What have I got that I can afford to give away? Am I the one who got you all dressed up tonight for nothing? Am I the one who got your hopes built up for nothing? Am I the one that they're gonna throw away in a jail somewhere?
They're going to put him in jail?
Don't talk to me about charity. Anybody else but not me.
I never said you weren't charitable.
All I tried to do was help. All I ever tried to do was help you.
I know that. Well, nobody cares for their family more than you do, Kate. But at least you can be sympathetic to somebody else in trouble.
Who should I care about? Who's out there watching over me? I've done enough in my life for other people. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Well, say what you mean, Kate. What people?
You see Papa when he was sick. Everybody, don't you dare ask me what people. How many beatings did I take from Mama for the things that you did? How many dresses did I go without so that you could look like somebody when you went out? I was the workhorse, and you were the pretty one. You have no right to talk to me like that, no right at all.
This is all about Jack, isn't it? You're blaming me for what happened.
Why do you think that man is sick today upstairs? Why do you think that he had to be dragged home at 2 o'clock in the morning by a policeman? So that your Nora could have dancing lessons. So that Lori could see a doctor every 3 weeks. Go on, worrying about your friend across the street. Not the ones who have to be dragged home to keep a roof over your head.
Why didn't you ever tell me you felt like that?
What is this? What's going on here?
It took all these years. It took something like that letter for you to finally get your feelings out.
What is it, Blanche? What happened?
I didn't need the letter. I just needed for you to ask me.
Lori, please go upstairs. This conversation isn't for you.
The ice cream's melting.
Eugene, put the ice cream in the icebox. I have to talk to your mother.
He never spoke to the woman. He lived in that house for 3.5 years and never exchanged a word with her.
What are you standing for? If you're going to be up, at least sit in the chair, Jack.
If I could pack Nora and Lori up and take them out of this house tonight, I would. But I can't. I have no place to take them.
Blanche, what are you talking about? Don't say such things.
If you would keep them for a few more weeks, I would appreciate it. Until I can find a place of my own, and then I'll send for them.
You're not sending for anybody, and you're not leaving any place. Now, I don't want to hear this kind of talk.
Jack, stay out of this. Let her do what she wants.
I have a friend in Manhattan Beach. I'll stay with her for a few days. And then I'll find a job. I'll do anything anybody asks me. But I will never be a burden to anyone again.
Blanche, stop it. Stop it right now. What the hell's going on here, for God's sake? Two sisters having a fight they should have had 25 years ago? You want to get it out, Blanche? Get it out. Tell her what it's like to live in a house that isn't yours, to have to depend on somebody else to put the food on your plate every night. I know what it's like, because I lived that way until I was 21 years old. Go ahead, Kate. Tell her. Tell her what it's like to be the older sister, to suddenly be the one to have to work and shoulder all the responsibility and not be the one to get the hugs and the affection when you were the only one there. You think I don't see it? With Stanley and Eugene? With Nora and Lori? You think I don't hear the fights that go on up in those rooms night after night? Go on, Kate. Yell at her. Scream at her. Call her names, Blanche. Tell her to go to hell for the first time in your life. When you both get it out of your systems, you hug each other and you go have dinner. Lousy ice cream's melting, for God's sake.
I love you both very much. I could never stop loving you, no matter what she said to me. But I have to get out now. So I still have some self-respect left. Sometimes I think the only thing that people like us really own is our dignity. When I grow old, I would like to have as much dignity as Mrs. Matthew Murphy across the street.
What did it, Kate? Something terrible must have happened to you tonight for you to behave like this. It wasn't Blanche. It was something else. What was it, Kate?
Tell the kids to go down in 5 minutes. We're eating in the kitchen tonight.
Get Stanley and Lori. Dinner's in 5 minutes.
It was the first day in my life I didn't get blamed for what just happened. I felt real sorry for everybody. But as long as I wasn't to blame, I didn't feel all that bad about things. That was when I realized I had a selfish streak in me. Boy, sure hope I grow out of it. Aunt Blanche is leaving.
For where?
To stay with some lady in Manhattan Beach. She and Mom just had a big fight. I think she's gonna send for Lori and Nora when she gets a job.
What did they fight about?
Well, I couldn't hear all of it. I think Mom sort of blames Aunt Blanche for Pop having to work so hard.
Oh, God. Did Mom say anything about me? About how I lost my salary?
You told her? Why did you tell her? I came up with 12 terrific lies for you.
How much money do you have?
Me? I don't have any money.
The hell you don't. You have it in your cigar box. How much do you have?
$1.12. It's my life's sake.
Well, let me have it. I'll pay you back. Don't worry.
What are you putting all those things on for?
In case I have to sleep out tonight. I'm leaving, Gene. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I'll write you when I get there.
You're leaving home?
After I'm gone, you tell Aunt Blanche what happened to my salary. You tell her that's the reason Mom was so upset. Please tell her not to leave because it's all my fault, not Mom's. Will you do that for me?
It's 8 cents worth of stamps if you want that too.
Thanks. What's this?
It's the medal you won for the 100-yard dash 2 years ago.
From the Police Athletic League. I didn't know you still had this.
You gave it to me. You can have it back if you want it.
It's not worth anything.
It is to me.
Sure, you keep it.
Thanks. Where will you go?
I don't know. I've been thinking about joining the Army. Pop says we'll be at war in a few years, and maybe by that time I could be a sergeant in the Army or something.
Yeah, maybe if it lasts long enough, I could join too. We could get in the same outfit or something.
You don't go in the Army unless they come and get you. You go to college. Promise me you'll go to college.
I'll probably have to work. If you leave, we'll need the money.
I'll send home my paycheck every month. Sergeant in the Army makes real good dough. Well, I better be going.
What do you have to leave for?
Don't start crying, they'll hear you.
They'll get over it. They won't stay mad at you forever. I was mad at you and I got over it.
Because of me, this whole family is about to break up. Do you want Nora to end up like one of those cheap boardwalk girls?
I don't care. I'm not in love with Nora anymore.
Well, you should care. She's your cousin. Don't you turn out to be like me.
I don't see what's so bad about you.
Take care of yourself, Huge. You ever write a story about me? Call me Hank. I've always liked the name Hank.
I guess there comes a time in everybody's life when you say, this very moment is the end of my childhood. When Stanley closed the door, I knew that moment had come to me. I was scared, and I was lonely. All of a sudden, the next night, about dinner time, he came back. I was never so happy to see anyone in my whole life. Hi, Stan!
Hi! Where's Mom and Pop?
Mom's in the kitchen cooking, and Pop's upstairs with the prayer book. I guess they figured if God didn't bring you home, maybe her potato pancakes would. So, what happened? Did you join up?
I came pretty close. I passed the physical, 1, 2, 3.
I knew you would.
They were giving me cigarettes, donuts, the whole sales pitch. I mean, they really wanted me.
I'll bet.
Just as I was about to sign my name, I stopped cold and put down the pen. Said, sorry, maybe some other time, and walked out.
How come?
I couldn't do it to Pop. Right now, he needs me more than the Army does. And I knew Mom didn't really mean it when she said she couldn't forgive me for losing the money. But if I walked out on the family now, maybe she never would.
Gee, I thought you'd be halfway to training camp by now. But I'm real glad you're home, Stan. Eugene, I need a pint of sweet cream and some more sugar. Stan's home.
Hi, Mom.
Make that a 2-pound bag of sugar. I want to make a chocolate cake.
A 2-pound bag from Greenblatt's? I'll need identification.
Will you be staying for dinner?
I'm staying as long as you're letting me stay.
Why wouldn't I let you stay? This is your home. I really do think you owe your father an explanation. He's been very worried about you.
I was about to get to that. Hi, Pop. How you feeling? Sorry about not coming home last night. I just didn't know how to tell you about the money. I know it doesn't help to say I'll never do it again, because I won't, never. I promise. I've got $3. I set pins over Dominic's bowling alley last night till midnight. I can make another 6 on the weekend, and that makes 9. I'll get back to $17, Pop, I promise. I'm not afraid of hard work. That's the one thing you taught me, hard work and principles. That's the code I'm going to live by for the rest of my life. So, if there's anything you want to say, I'd be glad to listen.
Read the paper tonight, Stanley?
No, Pop.
It's going to be a war. terrible war, Stanley.
I know.
Biggest war the world has ever seen. Right? Still not over the last one yet. Already they're starting another one.
We don't talk about it much in the store with Mr. Stroheim being German and all.
My brother Michael was killed in the last war. I told you that.
You showed me his picture in uniform.
He's 19 years old. The day he left, didn't look a day older than Eugene. He was killed the second week he was overseas.
I know.
I was 16 years old. They didn't take me. Both parents were dead. Lived with my Aunt Rose and Uncle Murray. They had 2 sons in the Navy. Both of them wounded, both of them decorated.
Uncle Leon and Uncle Paul, right?
My brother would have been 45 years old this month. He was a handsome boy. Good athlete, good dancer, good everything. He idolized you. Like Eugene idolizes you.
No, he doesn't.
Does, believe me.
Hear him outside talking with his friends. Brother this, my brother that. Brothers can talk to each other the way fathers and sons never do. You know, I never knew anything about girls until my brother taught me. It's that way with you and Eugene.
Yeah, I tell him a few things.
I'm glad you're so close. I missed all that when Michael went away. That's why I'm glad you didn't do anything foolish last night. I was afraid maybe you'd run away. I hear you talking with Eugene sometimes about the Army. Day's gonna come soon enough, I'm afraid.
I did think about it. It was on my mind.
Stanley, don't you know? There's nothing you could ever do that was so terrible I couldn't forgive you. You know why you gambled. I know how terrible you feel. It was foolish, you know that already. I've lost money gambling in my time. I know what it's like.
You did?
You're so surprised. You think your father's a perfect human being? Someday I'll tell you some things, other things I've done that weren't so perfect. Even your mother doesn't know. Stanley, if you grow up thinking I was perfect, you'll hate yourself for every mistake you ever make. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's what you have a mother and a father to do.
You're not hard on me. You're always fair.
You try to be. You're a good son, Stanley. You don't even realize that. We have men in our cutting room haven't spoken to their sons in 5, 6 years. Boys who have no respect for anyone, including themselves. Who haven't given their parents a single day's pleasure or worked a day in their lives. I thank God I could never say that about you, Stanley.
I gamble away $17 and you're telling me how terrific I am.
Hey, wait a minute. Now don't get the wrong idea. If you'd have been home last night when your mother told me, I would have thrown you and your clothes out the window. Today I'm calmer. Today I read the newspaper. Today I'm afraid for all of us.
I understand.
All right. Tonight, after supper, I want you to apologize to your mother. I want you to give her the $3.
I will.
And you apologize to your Aunt Blanche, because she was worried about you, too.
I will.
And you can thank your brother as well. He came into my bedroom this afternoon, told me how badly you felt. He was almost in tears himself. The way he pleaded your case, I thought I had Clarence Darrow in the room.
Eugene's a terrific kid.
All right. You go upstairs and get washed up for dinner. And tonight, you and me, we're going out in the backyard. I'm going to teach you how to play poker.
Terrific!
Is Eugene back yet?
No, Mom.
Can I talk to you after dinner tonight, Mom? Where am I going? To a nightclub?
I'll wash up and be right down.
Stanley, you didn't join anything, did you?
No, Mom.
Oh, that's good. There's time enough for that. The family's growing fast enough as it is.
Yes, Mom.
All right.
So, are you back in the family?
Yeah, everything's great.
Terrific. Hey, you want to take a walk on the boardwalk tonight? See what's doing?
Not tonight, I'm busy.
Doing what?
I'm playing poker.
Poker? Are you serious?
Yeah, right after dinner.
I don't believe you.
I swear to God, I got a poker game tonight.
You are crazy, Stanley. You are genuinely crazy. If you lose, I'm not sticking up for you this time.
If you don't tell anybody, I'll give you a present.
What kind of present?
Are you gonna tell?
No, what's my present?
Here, it's for you. Don't leave it lying around the room.
What is it?
Open it. Slowly. Slower than that. Close your eyes. Now look.
Oh my God! She's naked! You can see everything!
Lower your voice. You want to get caught with a thing like that?
Well, where did you get it? Who is she?
She's French. That's how all the women are in Paris.
I can't believe I'm looking at this. You mean some girl posed for this? She just laid there and let some guy take a picture?
Nora, Lori, time for dinner.
It belongs to the guy who owes me $250. I can keep it till he pays me back.
Let him keep it for a while. Just let him keep it for a while.
That's my appreciation for being a good buddy.